Welcome to the Chad and Chong podcast. I'm Chad.
And I'm Chong.
And welcome to our season finale of this podcast.
Season 2 wrap up?
Welcome to season 2. Welcome to the season 2 finale of the Chad and Chong podcast. You may have noticed that we've been kind of absent for the last couple weeks. We started off the year technically with me getting married at the end of May, and you got married just a month or two ago. Yeah. So for those who are married, you guys know what it's like. But we just wanted to come back here and wrap this season up properly. But Kevin, how has life been? Where have you been? Because you've been MIA the last couple months.
It's definitely been a busy season the last several months, but it's been amazing. I got married on September 26th out in Temecula. Chad over here was able to join me on my special day with Samantha. It's been an interesting journey adjusting to the married life. Prior to getting married, I had never lived with my wife, so just adjusting to things that she likes, things that she doesn't like, things that I like, and things that I don't like. It's been super fun. She's an amazing cook. Everybody that asks me, hey, Kev, how's the married life so far? You're, a month and a half in. My answer is always great. I don't think about it. It's been phenomenal. She's an amazing woman. And one of the things I love the most is, she's, her ethnicity is Mexican, right? And so everybody knows myself, anytime we go out to eat or anytime we're going anywhere to eat, I always suggest what?
Peruvian.
So one of her favorite foods now is Peruvian food. So more times than not, she's always like, hey, I want to try this new dish. Hey, I want to try making this. What do you think about that? My answer is always yes. So I can't complain. God's been so good. And very blessed, man.
Yeah. And her favorite food's Mediterranean, right?
If we don't do Peruvian, then it's, Mediterranean or it's Thai, crying tiger, baby. More times than not, she'll ask me, hey, let's look for a Peruvian restaurant. One of her favorite dishes is called leche de tigre, which is a type of ceviche, if you want to call it that.
So let's talk weddings a little bit. I remember, I think it was this season, we were talking about what we were trying to plan for our weddings, in terms of entertainment, maybe even food, things like that. I actually did stick with my plan in terms of the entertainment where, we had talked about how we're always working weddings, we're playing at people's receptions, things like that. I at one point did want to have all my friends who are musicians actually play and be part of the house band or something like that. But since it was in Hawaii, I really wanted everybody to enjoy and have a good time. And shout out to one of my best friends, Pono Lopez's dad, Uncle Roddy, who's a Hawaiian legend, actually came through to the wedding and put on a whole show. Dancers, hula dancers, fire dancer. He played almost every instrument. Pono even, came and played an instrument. And, I couldn't have asked for better entertainment. It was right beachside, and he put on a whole Hawaiian show. And so I hope that our guests had a great time. Well, you were a guest, so you could speak into that. But again, my vibe was I wanted to give all my musicians a good time and to relax and to hang out. And then you can explain what you had planned, and did it show up? Did it come through during your wedding?
Yeah, so I had actually arranged to have 2 bands at my wedding, which sounds like a lot. Sam would call it, Coachella. Basically, Kevin wanted Coachella at the wedding. The first band consisted of a lot of my lifelong friends, people that I work with in the corporate industry for years now. And so, what I had planned was I wanted an hour, 45 minutes of dinner music, and then maybe about another 45 minutes of dance music. Now, unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. The band only ended up playing about 15 minutes. We were running late as far as doing our pictures and doing the video stuff that they wanted with the photographer and videographer. So that, just with all that, we still had to do the speeches plus the dances. It just ended up not being the way that I wanted it to be. But what was awesome was right after them was the Cuban quartet, Son Habana. They are incredible. They play at this location here in close by here in Winter Park. Isla Cuban Kitchen, I believe is his name. And they play every weekend. And so I've hired them before for other corporate gigs. And one of the things I for sure wanted was, anybody really that loves Cuban music or salsa, I had wanted that to be a part of the wedding. And I know, one of the biggest reasons too is my mom being someone that raised me on, salsa music, and my dad was a huge fan of that. And so I really wanted that to be a part of it. And man, if you remember, they played in the rain.
Oh yeah.
So, and they played for an hour straight and they absolutely killed it, And so after that, we had moved all the guests to the Pinnacle Restaurant for an extra 2 hours of DJ, music, which my brother with his one little sound. And we had tacos at the end of the night. We had Joe's Italian Ice, and that was, what'd you think?
It's hard to dance when you're that full. He had a full meal. Then there was still tacos at the end and Joe's Italian Ice. I mean, and shout out to DJ J Super.
J Super, baby. Yeah, it was awesome. We wanted something to be going on pretty much throughout the whole night, and it rained for about maybe, 20, 30 minutes, which is, I guess that's a good thing. Yeah? Or what's the saying? Or...
Yeah, it's something about showers of blessings or something.
Yeah.
It didn't rain hard.
No, it didn't.
Now that you mention it, it also drizzled during my wedding. Remember that?
Oh, that's right.
Right at the beginning of during cocktail hour.
Yeah.
So
super fun, and super thankful to everybody, the groomsmen, my brother for marrying us. I mean, he did a phenomenal job. My grandma who just turned 90 was able to attend. And so just like seeing all my family and friends, and obviously seeing my wife, it was incredible, And one of the things we were discussing with her sisters and her family was like, "Oh, Kevin, are you gonna cry? Are you gonna cry?" That kept being the question. Yeah. And there was one friend of mine while I was on the altar that kept looking back.
Oh yeah.
When Sam was walking down the aisle, and it was my friend Steven DeZone, and all I just see is him turning back like every 10 seconds. Are you like checking if I'm crying or not? I didn't cry. I was very engaged in the moment, and I just wanted to, appreciate everything that was happening. And it's really hard. I don't know if you had this experience. Maybe we can talk about that too. Like trying to be present and not think about all the extra things that we normally would be worried about, when it comes to production or corporate gigs, all that stuff. I try everything that my brother was saying, our vows that we were reciting, which was funny because at one point we discussed how long we've been together, I think concerning days, and it was like 3,275, something like that. But she had a different number. So I was like, who's right here, you know? Yeah. But anyway, trying to stay present was the hardest thing. I don't know if that was your experience too.
Yeah, I mean, man, that's crazy because when I think about it, I thought I did a pretty good job in being present. But I'm not going to lie, all the planning leading up to it, even picking wedding coordinators was such a big thing for me and my wife, Michelle. And because I do so many weddings, like so many aspects of weddings, so many of the, logistics, production side, I mean, from everything, right? Yeah. Like when are the flowers going to arrive? All these kinds of things that I actually had to learn to let go and trust our wedding coordinator, which shout out to Lulin and Lily Lane, because when I was walking through the venues and all that, the venue wedding coordinator would miss some stuff. And this could be another podcast, but so our wedding was in Hawaii. We live here in California. Our venue coordinator forgot our tasting. And we flew over there, hotel, all that kind of stuff. And she showed up stunned that we were at the venue. Like, why are you guys here? Hello.
Wow.
So that's another story, but best believe we worked it out with they had to take care of us for our real second tasting. But it's those kinds of things where, I'm sure like from both of our experiences, we've just seen so many things missed, or we've seen things that can be improved, or it's like, hey, like we've done this so many times. Where's this? Where's that? That when it came to like our own wedding, we're thinking about all these things and making sure like just the execution like is flawless or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was very, very happy during my wedding. I was very, very pleased. But yeah, I mean, it came to the point where even the photos before the actual ceremony, I told the photographer I want it cut short because I want to be at the sound check.
That's right.
And Kevin played. Shout out to the band. AJ was on keys. Thank you. Kevin was on SPD, my boy Carlos, and Xander was on the vocals. And I literally came down and, it was great. It was like so me though, but it's like the sound guy immediately came out, had an iPad, and I was over there like in the seating area and making sure, like it wasn't too muddy. Yeah. I got the right reverb and all that. So that's how much I care about that stuff because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And obviously the band was flawless because I trust all you guys and, it made it really special that, some of my closest friends, got to walk down, or Michelle got to walk down to you guys playing. So, but yeah, those are those details where it's like, we've done it so many times that for it to not basically, be executed flawless would be a shortcoming, because it's like, no, we're going to get this right,
I remember I caught a drone shot of you walking in.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you were walking in, dude. It was solid. So I was able, did I give you that footage? Probably not.
You need to. Yeah, you need to. But what's cool about your wedding, now that I think about it, it really was music all throughout, because, from just walking in, there was already music, the ceremony is filled with music. But then when you walk up during the cocktail hour, you still had a cocktail band.
Yeah.
You had a little, on the side, and it was all friends that we all know. And then Kevin did a little surprise. He actually hopped on the drum kit. He surprised his wife. But man, when he hopped on the drum kit and he had a little drum solo, our table just all got up, and it wasn't even dance time yet. We all got up, got on the dance floor, and just started grooving, and we hadn't gotten even fed yet. You know what I mean? But that was cool to see, man.
When I was thinking about what I wanted to gift my wife, everybody talks about, what you should give your wife on that special day. And when I was thinking about songs, or a compilation of songs, I should say, I had started with, maybe I'll do a mix of like Bruno Mars, some Justin Timberlake, Stevie Wonder, kind of a mix of all these songs, and get with some friends and arrange something really, really dope, and have it played live. As I was brainstorming, we had an experience going to a Pentecostal church. Shout out to Cav LA, my Pastor Rigo. Dia's a good friend of mine. We went last year, and she absolutely loved the experience, the service, and she started to listen to more Spanish music, more Spanish worship. Yeah. And one of the songs that she really, really loved, which was a song that I grew up, or songs I grew up listening to, was a song called Coritos de Fuego by Israel and Newbury. Now, all these songs they've been around for over 20, 30 years. It was a medley of songs about 8 minutes long. And she goes, I love this song. I love like everything, all the transitions and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, well, what if I just do that, And so sure enough, people came to, some family came to the dance for a little bit, getting video, and I had surprised her with the performance, and she loved it. And I had to ask her, like, what'd you think about it after? And she goes, oh, babe, like, you did such a good job, thank you, and thank God, like the hardest thing was not being able to have a rehearsal with the band, sure. Because obviously it's a long song, it's complicated, it's a lot of syncopation, it's Latin music, so there's that aspect, but nonetheless, the band killed it. We did a great job. And we still had a great night. So it was super fun, man. Super, super fun.
Yeah, it was great being in the audience, just hearing all just top level musicians, you know what I mean? So that's where we've been. We both got married. Now we're fully married, but it's been a very busy season. Yeah. Like, we haven't even seen each other in a while.
Right.
We've actually been playing a lot together. We've been traveling, even being on tour. I've been picking up a lot more studio work and things like that. And now we're heading into the holiday season, which is why we have to end it right now. This season, we definitely tried our best to be consistent this season, and we definitely are going to come back. We just have to rethink, and again, like, we wanted to bring you guys like the real raw, the life of an actual musician. It's sometimes, we can be consistent week to week, and sometimes we don't see each other for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to be real and show you guys what it's really like to actually be living this kind of freelance musician lifestyle. But Kev, you've got some exciting stuff coming up. Maybe you could talk to us a little bit. Again, we're going into the holiday season. Maybe you could just share what's happening with you again.
We are, starting our 7th season at Festival of Holidays. This is the Tina and the Sounds of Celebration band. We are actually moving to the Hollywood backlot area. We normally have been at the World of
This
Color.
Is at Disneyland.
California Adventure.
California Adventure.
Yeah, California. Disney's California Adventure, they like to call it. We normally have been at World of Color. There's been a change with that this year, so they're moving us to the Hollywood backlot. We're there about, 6 or 7 times these next couple of months, from starting this Sunday, the 16th, till January 3rd. Now, I do want to say we've been a part of doing these shows, like I said, for about 7 years. And before, we've done maybe about 35 to 40, 3 to 4 times a week for 2 months straight. There was a change in that when it came to California law, the AB5 law, which I thought we had gotten rid of, honestly. It was something that, that dealt with Uber. affected our work. So, unfortunately, they're kind of scattered throughout these next couple of months. But nonetheless, super fun. It's a great time. It's mostly a show about Latin culture. So we touch on different countries, their style of music. More than anything, we want it to be a fun experience for those that are coming to attend. One thing I want to mention as well, I have the tremendous honor and privilege to play with a mentor of mine, someone that actually got me to seek a higher education. His name is Alberto Salas. He played at my wedding. He was a keyboard player, phenomenal instructor, phenomenal person, knows so much about Cuban history and Cuban music. And he's just a guy that I've looked up to. I've known him since I was maybe about 15 years old. So to be playing with him at the park is a tremendous honor and privilege. So I'm very excited. I'm going to vlog as much as I can. But yeah, expect a lot of content from this season. Hopefully we can get some BTS stuff,
Yeah, that's exciting. Hopefully Kevin will be able to get me in to the park. And if you are pass holders or you're visiting the park in this holiday season, come check them out. Maybe you'll be on Kevin's vlog. But, since we have you here now, and you're literally preparing in real time. You were just there last night, right? You're preparing in real time of, just how this whole process happens. Like, you don't just show up on stage and, at 3, 6, and 9 or whatever, something like that. Maybe you could share with our audience, some behind the scenes of what happens before the actual show, occurs.
Yeah. So, for the overnight schedule, we showed up at 10 p.m. and our time slot was from 10 to 12:30. Now, you might say, hey, Kev, do you really need a long sound check like that? The truth of the matter is we show up at 10, they pick us up.
So at 10 o'clock, the park is shut down.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, California closes at 10.
So there's no guests.
Right, there's no guests already.
Okay.
They're starting to exit. And so pickup was at 10. They drive us over in the shuttle to our sound check. They're setting up all the gear, and we kind of just discuss with the stage manager what it is that we need. So for example, they set up a 6-piece kit, 10, 12, 14, 16. I just have to tell them, hey, I'm not using the 14. I'm not using this crash. We kind of just let them know what is that we are using. Now, what was interesting is that in years prior, they normally know that we have tracks set up and, we need a DI, a couple of DIs and I'm running an interface and all these things. This stage didn't know that. So that added even more time to our setup, and so we had to spend an extra, I'd say 45, to an hour just getting that going, because they have only, so many people that can work from, that time slot, and then right after we're done at 12:30, there's 2 other bands that sound check. So they come at 12:30. One is there 12:30 to 2:30, and then another one from 2:30 to 5.
Which I think in the past you've done those.
Oh, it's horrible.
Till 5 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Kind of sound check.
We showed up at 12, sound checked at 2, got out of there at 4, So it's tough. It's tough. And
then a show that night.
Exactly. A show that night, yeah. So
it's not all gravy. I mean, working for the mouse, but just to show, because again, you can't be in the park while the guests are there and sound checking and setting up and doing all that kind of stuff. So this happens literally while the park is closed, while they're probably cleaning the rides and doing all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You guys, like, your day technically starts at, 10 p.m. You said, loading in, doing all that kind of stuff, sound checking. Maybe you leave the park at 5 a.m. You go home, take a rest, and then your call time is like what, noon?
Yeah, about 2 or 3.
For those who do know, in a typical show day or something like that, you arrive at the venue. Sometimes you can unpack. Sometimes you go to the hotel.
Yeah.
And then usually about, 3-4 hours before the show, you'll have a sound check.
Mm-hmm.
And then after sound check, you have some downtime and then showtime. But for something like a park, like an amusement park, you can't really sound check. If your show's at 7 o'clock, you can't sound check at 3 or 4 because the park's open.
Exactly.
And you can't be fiddling around and doing whatever while guests are there, because again, Disney wants to make sure that every experience, every ambiance, every environment, as a park guest is perfect, right?
Yeah.
So how does that work for your band if you don't sound check, before the show or something like that?
I have to show up a little bit earlier because I have to make sure the tracks are working, So typically I'll show up maybe I'll get on stage about maybe 15, 20 minutes prior to the band getting up, and doing a sound check, And so since it's going to be, we found out yesterday too, we only have one tech guy for for our shows. Typically we have our monitor engineer, and then we have our front of house. There's one guy for the whole production, So this time around, it's just a lot more tight knit, making sure that the shows and transitions are as smooth as possible. As soon as the 20 minutes end, music starts up again in the park, and you have to be done by that time. So they're very particular with that stuff. It just adds to a little bit of the pressure that we do face. For this season, we're doing 5 sets.
Wow.
And I'm in constant communication with the whole group, and just letting them know, hey guys, make sure we're smiling, make sure we're engaged, make sure just do your best to be as prepared as possible. And everybody, thankfully, we have pros that work with us. So I expect nothing less. But
you're doing 5 shows.
5 shows. So it's going to be a lot,
So that's the busy season. Kevin's got a lot going on for the holidays. I've got a lot of things happening too at churches, all the Christmas programs and all that, while also taking care of a lot of productions. There's a lot of deadlines that happen during this time of the year. And so that's why we're going to disappear for a little bit from this podcast. But as some of you guys know, that January, the top of the year, is usually one of the slowest times of the year for the music industry in general. And that's also where NAMM happens, which, if you guys don't know, it's the National Association for Music Merchants. It's basically the Disneyland.
How do you know that?
Bro, I'm a musician, bro. It's basically the Disneyland for musicians. And for us who are not manufacturers of instruments and who are not buyers or sellers of these kinds of things, it's our big hang.
Yeah.
It's the downtime for a lot of people. Nobody really is gigging or doing anything like that because it's real busy season right now. But hopefully we can come back at you and have some footage from NAMM. If you guys have never been, it's held here in California at the end of January. There's a lot of musician hangs that happen. There's a lot of performances that happen. There's a lot of our favorite musicians that we look up to and artists that perform and all that kind of stuff. And you know that this industry is about who you know. And NAMM is like the perfect place to really connect, to meet some of your heroes, and just to hang out with some of your friends that you haven't seen in a while because they've been touring for a whole year or something.
Yeah.
So once this busy season is done and we go into our low season, Kev and I are going to get together and spend some time and hopefully get a whole plan for season 3. Like, we're excited about this podcast. We want to bring you more content, more diversified content. Because
Lakers, baby.
We like things more than just music, and yeah, Lakers were 8-3, Luka Doncic and Reeves are cooking right now. LeBron's not even in. So who knows? We may have a guest from somebody within some Lakers organization or third party kind of thing. I don't know. We love sports. We love eating. Hopefully you checked out our Peruvian food tour. We're going to definitely do more food tours. What else can they expect?
Basketball, music. And food. That's our lives. That's what we do. And so we want to bring that content to you guys. And we know that some of you that reach out to us and DM us and personal friends that let us know, hey man, that episode was funny or this section was good. Whatever. We appreciate all the support and just everything you guys have shown us so far. So if you have not already, and I say this with utmost confidence, if you haven't already subscribed to the Chad and Chong podcast, we invite you to do so right now here on YouTube. Or if you're listening via Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, that's a thing, go ahead and follow. Make sure you rate the show 5 stars, leave a comment, and share with your closest friends, and even those that you don't know. We love you guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you season 3.